Live from the Pines, episode 79. Tonight we welcome head coach, athletic director, Texas High School, Coach Stanford. How you doing tonight, Coach?
Man, I appreciate you having me. Doing good. Just finished up a little practice, sitting here watching a little Fayetteville Bulldog football in their scrimmage tonight.
You can't get any better than that.
So it's here. Football season is what it is, and the life of a coach, and it doesn't stop 24 hours a day.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I had you on here, episode 44, on episode 79 now. We've for sure grown some, but I will always say this, and I'm going to say it on live tonight. Coach Stanford is one of my favorite coaches to get to sit down and talk to.
Man, I appreciate you having me. I think it's just a good justice to East Texas what you do, man. And I've had guys from my other staffs that have worked on here. Riley Dodge has been on here, and some other guys that I've worked with, and they all speak so highly. I think it's just a good outreach to not just East Texas and all of Texas, but just the nation to say this is what we do. This is Texas. It's a bigger deal here than anywhere else in the country, and you do a great job hosting it, man. We appreciate it.
Well, we thank you, Coach. And like you said, nobody does it better than the state of Texas when it comes to high school football. That is something we are very proud of, and we take a lot of pride in.
No, you know it is. I think it's a unique state. I mean, what people just don't understand is what really actually goes into these jobs that head coaches do, what communities want, the expectations you've got to live day in and day out, and not just during football season. And so the great thing about that is I don't think you could be a really good head coach if communities didn't have an expectation. I'd say that'd be the first problem. And so I think with all these guys and these coaches and what they go through, they want to be in a community that does have expectations. And we're fortunate to be in Texarkana, and we've got expectations that we want to work up to, and we want to supersede and continue to improve. And we're really, we love what we do in the community that we do it, because football is still important for the right reasons. And I'll say this, and I say it all the time, but I don't think there's any place like Tiger Stadium on a Friday night in Texarkana.
Well, hey, one thing I will say, I don't think I was, because y'all were in our district at one point in time.
Yeah.
And I don't think I got to make a game in Texarkana, but I did get to watch y'all's game here when y'all played at Lufkin.
Yeah.
And y'all do travel.
We do, and that was I tell you, man, that game right there is got to be one of the more memorable, at the top of the list, top 3 games I've ever coached in. We were at a tipping point in our program. At that point in where we were, that was our 3rd year as a staff. We'd kind of inched our way into the playoffs, so to speak. Just a tough district. We were stuck in the Frisco, Dallas, McKinney district at the time. Lufkin's number 4 or 5 in the state. We're 6-4 coming in. Had lost a quarterback mid-year, lost a couple games without him playing, backed into the playoffs. Texas High hadn't won a playoff game since 2009. And, obviously with Lufkin being who they are, and the tradition, and Coach Quick, and just the foundation he'd laid there from Coach Outlaw, and the things that Coach Quick was so successful at, it was funny. What my staff, if you ever get a chance to talk to my staff, talk to them about getting off the bus and walking into the locker room at Lufkin.
Well,
and so it was.
I don't know if you're talking about our locker room or what, because I've heard stories about our locker room.
Well, it wasn't the locker room. The locker room is fine. It is what it is. It was getting off the bus. There's some home dudes, man. They on a full smoker. There's rolling smoke. There's like 3 or 4 lined up. They're in
right there in the back of the end zone.
Man, it was like 10 degrees that day. It was cold. And it had been cold the entire week. I mean, it was freezing. Man, we're getting off the bus, and these dudes like, man, I can't say what they said, but in so many words, it was, we don't know why y'all are here, but y'all might as well turn around and go back, because we know how this is about to go. And it was consistent until we got all the way into the locker room. And it was comical, man. It was hilarious. It really was. If you ever get a chance to talk to them.
I was getting on the bus.
Huh?
Were we going already?
No, this is before the game.
No, I'm talking about getting back on the bus after the game.
Oh, everybody gone, man. It's quiet. And so that was one of those games, man. It's such a weird game, because it goes halftime. It's like 7-7, and nobody can score. And then the 3rd quarter, it's like a track meet. Both teams put up like 21. What was crazy is that we get the ball and we drive down with about 3 minutes to go down to the 20 and throw a pick on just a illicit throw. There's a minute 50 left, give or take, and we're like, it's going to be tough. And we get a stop. Lufkin had a huge running back that year. He was a really, really good player. We get a stop on third down, go down, boom, boom, score. The telltale play of the game, honestly, we get to the third overtime and Bug gets thrown out on a illegal targeting hit. And it was a legit call. Bug made a great play. He was a great player. It was an RPO through the middle. Bug drove it. He snapped the dude's neck in half. 2 plays later, we walk in and score. We missed the extra point. And nobody knew it because everybody was celebrating that we had scored. And Lufkin gets down there, and, heck, we get a pass interference call on 4th down. They get a fresh set of 4 downs, and we get a stop. And it was it still really is one of my prouder moments. Just as a lot of kids that have been through a lot of things, and I could walk through that whole scenario. But and I say this about coaches, not just at Texas High, but in a lot of places. People that do not coach truly do not know what coaches go through. They just don't. And in places like Texarkana, and places like Lufkin and Longview, and people in East Texas, coaches in East Texas in general, they do not know the day-to-day what that coach and their families go through at all. And so a moment like that in Lufkin, man, that was like a pinnacle moment for my staff, my players. I think more of my players cried, maybe more than my coaches, because it had been 12 plus years since Texas High won a playoff game. And so to walk into that moment with that group of kids who really nobody gave a chance in that Dallas district. I mean, we were in there with the tough John Tyler, McKinney North, Mesquite Poteet at the time, who was rolling, West Mesquite. Not a lot of good things were said, to say the least, to give them a chance. And so, man, those are the joyous moments that coaches have. And honestly, that win was kind of what put us on the trajectory of where we are today.
Well, like you said, that was a great game, and somebody had to win it, and sadly it wasn't us.
Yeah.
Hopefully we get to see you guys again.
Yeah.
But that's what makes Texas high school football so great.
Yeah.
You walk into a game, we're talking trash. It's 10 degrees. We're still tailgating.
Yeah. It smelled good. It smelled real good.
I bet you I can name at least 5 to 10 guys over there cooking. And that's what it's all about. And I think that's what a lot of places have got away from. And I know it's cool to watch the game at home. I enjoy it. You got a cocktail. You're in the recliner. You're sitting there. But it's nothing the same but being in the stands and getting to experience it right there. Like this past summer, I mean, not this summer, this past football season, I get off work on a Friday, nothing to do. I see that I'm actually sitting at work, and I see South Oak Cliff and PNG are playing in Nacogdoches. It's 20 minutes down the road. You're going to go watch a state championship football game right there, 20 minutes down the road. What do? I come home, change, and I go down there. And you watch a great football game, and that's what, separates us from a lot of states. And that's you can even say the whole state of Texas, East Texas football. You can go to Dallas and watch football games on Friday. You can watch some great teams play on Friday nights, but you're not going to get the same hometown feeling that you get when you play in East Texas.
No, you're not. I've been in all those scenarios from East Texas, small school, DFW, big school, back to East Texas, big school, and there's a different passion. I mean, I think people here still want to see games won for the right reasons. I think there's a lot of schools in DFW at times that it's more of a notoriety to go to the game and not a passion to go to the game.
And you got a lot of kids that get to grow up wanting to be Texas High.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what you know, right?
Yeah, you got kids wanting to grow up and be Lufkin Panthers. You're not like, okay, I'm an 8th grade, but this kid's a senior over there, and I'm a really good player, so I can go over here and play, and we might not win a football game, but I'm going to get to play.
Yeah, we say this all the time. We want to be the community school. I mean, we want to be where the community wants to go and see their kids come up, and we want that community in the stands on a Friday night. Like, we want our team, our staff, our players to resemble our community, and we want to go out and perform in such a way that makes them proud.
Do y'all stream y'all's games?
We do, man. Texarkana Game Day, I think, came along before COVID. Longview Game Day, that's the same group. They do it. And I get the argument that people may not come to games because of the live stream. Like, I understand the argument between both. I do. And I can go to either way with that argument. What I think about Texarkana Game Day is it's not just a live stream. They do such a good job of promoting all the schools in Texarkana. Not on just a live stream, but throughout the consistent year of putting kids out there, letting the community know about offers, putting out highlight videos, not just of football, but it's volleyball, it's basketball, it's baseball. And so I would say they're a community promotional, not just a football promotional on a Friday night to see how many clicks they get. I mean, and I get that's a large part of it. And I know people enjoy that Texarkana Game Day experience of being able to stay at home when we're on the road. And I get the argument that more people would go to road games if that wasn't there, or even home games in some cases. But I do think it's good for kids. I do think they promote kids. If they didn't promote kids and promote our community, no, I don't think it would be worth it.
We have something similar, Lufkin Game Time. They do an amazing job. But the guy we have behind the radio, Gerry Islands, aka Big Nasty, nothing like it.
Yes.
I don't care if it's a 2-yard carry. You're gonna think we just broke.
Yeah.
I don't care if we push somebody out of bounds. It's a Whataburger collision. It's
no doubt.
It's always big, and we're like you said, we're thankful for those things, and because without those guys showing that, we got people that played for Lufkin that are playing in the league that are in New Orleans, in New England and stuff. So they get a chance to watch their hometown kids still play. So all those things are great, and I think that I'm one of the world's worst that complains about the stream because it takes people out the stands.
Yeah.
But there's times like last year, Lufkin playing John Tyler. We're on the road headed to Austin to watch the Horns play, and me and my best friend are driving, and he has a computer propped up. We have the Jam Media up, Lufkin Game Time, watching Lufkin play. So you're thankful for those opportunities because you would miss that game. You'd be listening to the radio, which listening to the radio used to be the greatest thing. But if I could watch the game, why not watch the game?
There's a lot of times on a Thursday night we've got either opponents we're fixing to see or opponents we're going to see in the playoffs, and we're home from a JV freshman game, and where we're at the JV freshman game, and I can have my computer in the press box and watching our JV and freshman, and or watching the live stream. And if we play on a Thursday, like we play on Thursday next week, I can pull up teams that are playing in Dallas that we might see in the playoffs if we're fortunate to be there, or teams in our district that are playing on Friday, and I can watch those. And so I do think there is value. I think some communities may be lost and or not benefited from the live stream. Absolutely. Yeah, I get that part. I do. But I do think there's value when it's done the right way. I do not agree with just going the NFHS route. I mean, I think that's an easy way out. I think it needs to be a community-based deal.
I agree, and especially come the playoffs.
Yeah.
Coach Stanford, I haven't talked to you since the off season. I'm sorry, since you were in off season. What has changed in Texarkana? What's going on down there? What are we doing? What's going different? What's going on?
It's funny you ask. We're coming out of practice here a couple hours ago. Just finished watching film a minute ago of practice today, getting ready for the Lobos on Thursday. And really, it's more of a self situation this week. It's not so much about Longview as it is about us trying to get ready for Tyler Legacy here in a couple of weeks. But man, it's been a good off season. We've enjoyed spring ball. I think that's completely beneficial. I think we learn a lot about ourselves. I think it gives the kids a good way to end the school year. Get into summer with 7-on-7, a little bit that we do, and then work on just our strength and conditionings and figure out who we are. And I think right now we're in that mix of we're really trying to learn who we are as a team and what that chemistry looks like, what that makeup looks like, what's the the 22. We really try to grade what's our 30 best players. Who are the 30 we got to have to win a game, and what are the top 11 to be on the field in any capacity in any situation. And so, man, it was really pleasing today. We saw some guys really step up. You're always looking for that diamond in the rough, the guy that's got a shot, got the size, speed, whatnot, ability, and then can he turn it on? And we're starting to see some of those guys really step up right now in some capacities. And we look forward to this scrimmage with Longview on Thursday. We've done this for 8 years. I would say that every year, whether we're better or they're better, that we both come out more improved out of the scrimmage, that we both learn a lot about ourselves It's kind of a knuckles to the face type scrimmage. It's physical. I mean, that's obviously what Lobo football is all about. Coach King does one of the best jobs in the country of building a physical team, and I mean, you're going to get punched in the face. And
How are they so physical?
Man, I think it's just ingrained. I think it started with Coach Pat Collins. That's who he was. That's what he was about. When you look at the staff that's been put together and the guys that have come out of there and the consistency of that staff has not fallen apart much. It's been together. And they've built an identity of who they are, of that knuckles to the face type program. If you're going to get punched in the mouth, and it's can you take it, and how often can you take it, and how long are you willing to take it? And I think they do one of the best jobs of running and playing that style of football on both sides. I mean, John Barry's got to be one of the most underrated defensive coordinators in the state. He does such a phenomenal job of getting the most out of his players, and obviously offensively they've got a ton of weapons back, and it really does each and every year. It proves to show us where we are, who we are, and the things we got to improve on. In the years we felt really good coming out of it, and you watch the film and you're like, we're a long ways off. And that's because we got exposed by a really good football team. And I don't think this year's any different. We've got to go in with some guys in some new spots and some guys that we want to see get some quality reps and find out who we are, because we know we've got a long road ahead of us.
So, we always talk about the playoffs, but people don't realize how hard it is to get to the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I want to also hear, what's it take when you're looking at a team this early in August? We're getting ready for a scrimmage, and you got to go play Tyler Lee next week, and you're going to play a good Longview team in a scrimmage. You're going to get a great look. You're going to get to see who's going to be out there, who has what it takes, who's physical enough. Because when you scrimmage a team like Longview, you got to go hit them in the mouth.
Yeah,
and they're going to line up. They're going to run the ball, and we all know they have some new things coming with the pass game and everything. But that's going to prepare you for November.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hopefully December.
Yeah, you've got to get a picture of it. And now the complicated part to it all of the coach is it really is a war of attrition. I mean, I coached in 3A football, and those were some of the best days of my life. They really were at White Oak. People always ask, what's the difference, right? Like, what's the, you've got Carthage, and Coach Surratt's obviously one of the best to ever do it. Set people like that aside, and your normal difference in 5A and 6A, it's O-line and D-line play. It's where your money made in the long run. When you really want to talk about making runs and being consistent in that 3rd through 6th round, man, it comes down to being able to stop the run and the ability to run the ball and get after the quarterback. I mean, those are the things that win the big games late in the year. And so early on in the year, you've got to be able to figure out, what does that look like? Like, how does that intensity match up? How do you survive through that, stay healthy through district? And then can you mirror that same intensity that you had back in that early part of the year to stay healthy, to see it also in the playoffs? And I think that's the biggest challenge, particularly, I mean, you look at the geography of the state of Texas right now, and what's taking place is you've got Dallas, Fort Worth, Austin, and Houston, El Paso, and those areas are booming and growing. So you take schools that are not connected to a metroplex. So let's just take Salina. Salina at one point was a 2A high school and really small, right? Now they're fixing to be 5A, 6A within a matter of moments. Melissa, 5A, 6A. And so those teams that were 5A and 4A in the state of Texas are completely shrinking. I mean, it just is. There's the job base, the economic base. We're losing sight of those type of schools. Well, that means we're losing kids too, right? And so within all that, it makes it more difficult on your 5As and 6As like Longview. So to see what a Longview's done, to see what a school like we've done, a school like Lufkin, and sustain that, how long can you and continue to match up with the DFWs and the Houstons and the Austins and fight through that amount of growth, that amount of open school recruiting, and the kids hopping and stopping that takes place in areas like that, and being able to go to fight another day.
Do you think the UIL will ever wake up and realize at realignment, let's put, Lufkin, Marshall, Texas High, all these schools in one district, these one horse, Texas Can is a little different, but let's put all these schools in one district, and let's let them play through the season, because in my opinion, I'm not going to say it's not fair. It's football. You put 11 on 11, you might win any day. But, round one of the playoffs, we're going to play HISD school. Round two, you're going to get Anthem Consolidated or College Station. Well, after that, you're playing against schools that I want this kid. This kid played over here for 2 years, but he's going to come help me out. He's going to come play for me. And, it's not saying it's not fair, but, let's make it realistic. Let's send this school to go play this team. It's like you look at Duncanville. You look at DeSoto. You look at all these big teams, okay? How many of those kids do you think grew up wanting to be a Duncanville Panther?
Right.
Or DeSoto Eagle? Or how many of those kids you think one day said, hey, Mom, their parents said, hey, our kids play pretty good?
Yeah, I think it's I don't think there's a perfect picture, to say the least. I don't think there's a good answer the UIL's got. Obviously, the NCAA has lost complete sight of anything from a moral turpitude of what is best for kids and the student. And I mean, let's be honest, NCAA needs to take out the part of the college part, because it's really, for the most part, lost that, right? They're no longer hardly a student at all anymore. And so at the high school level, I mean, kids moving schools is taking place for decades. That's not a secret. I think the rate at which kids are moving schools is what's different today. And most of that's driven by social media, the internet, the availability of information and what can be found and seen. But at the same time, I think there's still a trueness in some capacities in parts of Texas where it's something to be a tiger, a lobo, a panther. I think it's got a little lack of polish on it, but I still think that's really important to certain specific parts of our state. And I think that's what we try to hold fast to. Those are the areas we don't want to. We're here because we don't want to fight that battle. And I think we've got to stay true to those things and continue to fight that fight and build our programs and our teams to be. We want to be a Texas Tiger. We want to be a Lufkin Panther. We want to be a Longview Lobo. And that's how we build these things to where we are, to stay in the top 10 in the state and to keep climbing. And man, the UIL is what they do. And I don't judge their decision making because I don't understand exactly what they go through. But at the same time, it's an uphill battle for places like this. And we just got to keep fighting the good fight and know we're in it and to keep giving our kids a chance.
That's very true. So, Coach Stanford, like I told you earlier, I've had the pleasure to get to be around the program of Lufkin a little bit closer this year, and it's been great getting to see the ins and outs of different things and what coaches actually go through. And, people wouldn't realize this, but your day starts when it's dark outside, and it ends when it's dark outside.
Yep.
And it's going to be like that until hopefully December.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it goes back to, like I said earlier, that people truly just don't know what a coach's life and their family's life is like on a given basis, particularly in smaller towns. And the real honesty of that all is most people don't want to know. They want to talk about other things that deal with what we do, but nothing about what we actually do. And so within all that framework of saying that everything is, it starts early. It's a 5:30 a.m. start. It's a 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock p.m. stop. Here's the crazy part that nobody actually understands. The majority of that time is not spent on football. And I wish it was. I mean, I wish there was more of that time spent on football. But the majority of that time is spent on taking care of kids. And it's doctor's appointments. It's picking them up for school. It's taking them home. It's making sure they've got what they need. And that's not every kid. But every program's got those kids that need those things. And I think that's what communities have lost sight of, is seeing that, yep, Friday nights are awesome. We love them. It's the best thing ever. There's nothing like walking into a stadium of 12,000 people wanting to see us perform at the highest level possible. But that's not all we do. Yep, that's what we're paid to do. That's what we're here to do, is to win and to do a job. But the majority of our day is grades, discipline, be at school, make sure they're fed, get them to work, get them home. That's as much of a proportion of the day as there is anything else.
It's a full-time job, and I will say this firsthand, and you know that I have somebody close to me that's a coach and everything, and I tell him all the time in the past, like, why the hell would you want to have the degree you have and the brain you have and coach high school football? And the more I've gotten closer to our program here in Lufkin, the more I understand it and realize it. And the more I've been doing this show, getting to talk to all these Texas high school football coaches, you know, it's it's mind blowing what you guys go through. And I think if parents, community fans, and everybody else, if they understood and went half a day in y'all's shoes, their minds would be crushed. Because I'll tell you one thing, with what I've been doing, it's a full-time job.
Yeah, I mean, it's a 24/7, 365. And we say this all the time, like, this is what we do. This is what we paid. We made a choice. Like, I mean, and we tell this to our kids, like, you choose to play football. Like, nobody made you. So if you're going to choose to play football, why not do it to the best that you can? So coaching is no different, right? Like, we signed up for this. Like, we signed a contract saying this is the job we want. This is the pay we agree to. That means we should be doing the same thing we're asking kids to do. Well, what would be awesome, which is the reciprocal of, you signed up to be a parent. You chose to be a parent. You're all in to being a parent. There's got to be a middle ground right there, right? That's the goal, is to get the parents on the same page. And so I think that's the complex answer to today's world is, how do we bring all that together in a lot of cases, and make this the best thing possible for any kid, for any sake, to make sure when they walk out of Texas High that they've learned the family's better, the kid is better, and our program is better for you being in it. And that's because we worked and did what we could do as a coach to make you better. I think that's what coaching is. And so we signed on to do it. I mean, it's what we know. And I think that's why you see a lot of coaches, when they get out, they don't know what to do, because there is no second hobby, because there ain't no time.
What's Coach Abstick always say? We always ask him, Coach, you play golf?
Yeah.
He goes, well, what time?
Yeah, what day? What's the year? I'd love to say I love duck hunting, deer hunting, playing golf, but those are minimalistic compared to the amount of time that the job requires. And the job is the job, as we say, and the time is the time. It is what it is, and it takes what it takes. And so I don't believe time equals wins. I don't think that has to be the case. I think you do the job that you got to do, and you put the kids in the best case. And when we've got talent, we're going to win a lot of games, and put the best foot forward and go out there and do it. And we love the community we work with. We love Texarkana. We love walking to the Tiger Stadium on a Friday night. We love it more when we win. And so we're hoping we walk out there this year with a lot of wins and put our best foot forward. We've got 7 home games, hopefully plus a first-round playoff game potentially, and go out there and put forth the best case we can.
Coach Stanford, what are you looking forward to the most with this 2025 group of Texas High Tigers?
I say the same thing a lot of times, and I don't mean to be a cliche. I think you love to see your senior class succeed. I mean, we've been here 9 years now, so these kids were like second grade when we got here. And so we've known a majority of these kids most of their lives. We've seen them grow up, walk through this program, walk through elementary school. A lot of our wives work in the elementary schools, and so we've seen the back stories, the front stories, what they've grown up in and what they've gone through. And so, man, to see a senior class grow up, to see a senior class have fun, and this is a big senior class. Usually on average, 35 to 40 is large for us, 20 to 25 to 30 is pretty normal. And this has been a tight-knit group. And so the biggest thing we want to see is, man, them stick together, them fight the hard fight. We know we've got a tough schedule ahead, but we know we can overcome anything if we can stay healthy and stick together and get out there and show what it means to be a Texas Tiger.
Well, Coach Stanford, I wish you guys nothing but the best this season. I think that you're doing a great job over there, and I really enjoy getting to have you on the show and talk to you. I look forward to having you back on, throughout the season, and hopefully get you on during December. And I think it's been a lot of learning for me, more than it has been me talking to you and just, everything else. I think you talk, the conversation we've got to have and everything, I think they've been great. And I think you're doing a great job over there.
Thanks, man. We look forward to it. We do. We truly appreciate what you do for the state of Texas and coaches, and just putting us out there and letting us have a voice in what it's really like to be a Texas high school football coach. But also, man, just what it means to love on kids and put them in a good position.
Coach Stanford, you keep doing that, and I wish the 2025 Texas High Tigers nothing but the best. And like I said, we're going to do this again for sure, Coach.
Thanks, Hal. Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it. Good luck this year.
Yes, sir.